Yes, we are live, so let us start the webinar. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining today. My name is Olena Gryniuk, and I'm Regional Director for the Central Eastern Europe at the SM Banking Club, and I will host today's webinar. And today we will talk about agricultural customers and farmers' motivations and challenges related to digital agriculture and how banks can help agricultural customers to digitalize their businesses, and also pros and cons for both sides. And I'm going to be joined today for the discussion by Matija Zulj, CEO and founder at Agrivi, an agri-tech company having offices in 4 countries, UK, Poland, Romania, and Croatia. Hello, Matija, and welcome.
Hello, Elena. Glad to be here.
Hello. Okay, so before we start the topic, let me mention shortly some organizational information. So our webinar is scheduled for 45 minutes. We are recording this webinar, so right after we finish, you will receive the link to the video and the presentation. And in the end of the webinar, we will have time for your questions. So please type your questions into the chat. Okay, so let's go to the topic, digitalization of the agricultural sector. So for me, this is a really important, crucial topic because it really could be a game changer, boosting the productivity in this sector, profitability, and also resilience to the climate change. And also it can help globally in different important aspects like achieving food security or maybe some meaningful livelihood improvements for Africa and for small farmers there. And also, if talking even about Europe, it could be a great engagement for the sector, maybe from women and also from the young generation as well. So let us discuss also how banks can contribute to that. So, Matija, I'm passing the word to you at once. I know you will present a research that you conducted on farmers in Europe, and we're eager to know the results.
Thank you, Elena, very much, and welcome everybody. Great to have you with us today. And initially today, what I would like to present are basically 3 topics. So first, I will give a short, brief introduction about Agrivi, that you all know who we are, what we do. And then I will explain research results that were done on farmers, on their motivations and challenges when using digital agriculture solutions. And the third topic will be how banks can utilize those findings and how they can bring digital agriculture solutions to farms and whether those farms are their existing customers or potential new customers. As a company, Agrivi is an agri-tech company that is fully specialized in building digital agriculture solutions. And our customers are both farms and other stakeholders in the value chain, whether we are speaking about agribusiness banks, food processing companies, ministries of agriculture, or other stakeholders who are interested in increasing productivity on a farmer level. And with the ultimate goal to help farms reach the economically and environmentally sustainable food production. Our headquarters is officially in the UK, so we are a UK company with operational headquarters in Croatia and offices in Romania and Poland. And as a company, we work with customers worldwide who use our farm management platform. So our farm management platform is our core product, and I'm sure that all of you are aware of significant growth within the agriculture technologies and developments where farms are currently being offered by a lot of different solutions, from satellite imagery that supports them in decision making, different weather indicators, crop progress indicators, to application of precision agriculture, better use of their machinery, and in the end support of business business part of farming with farm finances, analytics, reporting to governments, etc. So the role of farm management software is to be the central platform of all systems, to allow farms to connect to all of the other systems they have, and to get all agricultural data on one place, to make holistic decisions both from agronomy perspective and from business perspective. So this is our core essence of what we do, and customers that we support globally are companies like Nestle, where their baby food factory is using the technology to manage their farms that they construct to get crops for making baby food. Or example of Driscoll's, who is the largest global berry grower. So they control 1/3 of US market, where they use our technology to improve their operations on their own farms. And even agribusiness banks like BNP Paribas, who is partnering with us to support their farms as well. So in terms of research, what I would like to highlight is we are all speaking about digitalization of agriculture as the topic that is crucial to meet the Green Deal topics, as a topic that is crucial for meeting corporate goals of companies within the food processing segment, agribusiness segment, and other segments that are related to farming, but as well on farms themselves. So what I want to share is how it looks like, what is the state of the industry today, what farms see as incentives that motivate them to use technology, what farms see as challenges, why they have trouble of using technology, and what can be better altogether. And in the end, I would like to then try to utilize the data for our discussion afterwards. This research was done on 600 farms, and when I took a look at this research, I thought that this research was done in Central Eastern Europe, but actually the research is done in US, and the situation is the same. Is the same completely, whether we are speaking about US farms, whether we are speaking about European farms, as we have customer base both at the moment on all continents, so we feel the same challenges with farms that are in states that are in that are here in Central Eastern Europe or Western Europe. So all the challenges and motivations are very, very similar. And it will be very important for us to understand that we are speaking about the market that we all see as the most advanced market. So let's try to use those results as a benchmark completely of state of the market. So the research partners here were Farm Journal as the core organizer, Trusted Food Initiative, and Sustainability Consortium, who are performing this research all together on farms. So it's always question who were the farms that were participating in research. So let's take a look at their profile, because we are always speaking about old age structure of farms and whether digitalization is only applicable to young farmers. So let's see who was the profile altogether of farms that participated. So out of 610 farms that participated, on their income level, we can see that there were actually quite significant percentage of farms that are in the professional segment altogether. So not hobby farmers that have some minor revenue turnover, but farms that actually live from farming. So professional farmers that earn for their families. In terms of surface size, so over 30% of farms had 2,000 plus acres, which is adequate to 1,000 plus hectares. over 50% altogether had over 500 hectares, which is definitely that half of the participants were very professional farms as such. So based on surface, we can see that we are speaking really not about hobby farms, about traditional farms. We are speaking about professional growers. On the crop type, participants were mostly grain growers, growers of corn, soybeans, wheat, and other grain crops or some specialty crops additionally. Majority of them were in the age group of 35 to 64. So that's very indicative on the age structure. Plus 40% of participants in survey were above 65 years old. So we don't speak about young farmers, we speak about mid-aged farmers plus older farms that participated in the survey, majority men. And in terms of education, it is mostly just farming without any significant additional education altogether. To understand better their operations and their farm structures, just to understand how they do business, how they sell their crops. Primarily, they work in cooperation, in cooperative, where they sell their produce, everything they grow through a cooperative, or they sell directly to a commodity or marketing company. So majority of them were in those segments. And as we can see, that majority of them were owning their land, not renting that. So they're renting less than 50% of their land, but always it's a mix. So only 18% of them were completely owning the land, and then as we go further, we can see what was the split. So from those that were owning majority of their land were around 40%. Plus, if we take a look at those who are majority renting their land, it's again close to 50%. So now that we have farmer profile, when we understand that, if we take a look, it's very similar. Whether we are speaking about Polish market, Romanian market, Croatian market, US market, German market, quite similar farmer profiles are in all markets. So the results correlate a lot. So first question that farmers were asked in this survey was what are the key barriers they face when collecting the data? So when they get a farm management software or other digital agriculture tool, so what is the primary barrier for them to use that technology? And what we can see here is that the major barriers were first cost of technology, then lack of training and understanding. And these are the major barriers they experience. So first they feel, the data behind the survey shows that they feel that it's completely up to them to finance the entire technology advancement within the crop production, and they feel that other stakeholders of the value chain should be more supportive in sharing that cost, so that not all investment is being carried by farms. So cost is a big driver for them because their profit margins are squeezed at the moment. And the second one is definitely lack of understanding and training how to utilize that technology in best possible manner. And this is where customer success teams in all companies that deal with agricultural technologies are the most important teams. And based on our own findings, we see that 50% of success is that product is a fit to grower, and 50% of success is that customer success team is able to support farm in the best possible manner to get the advantage. A very indicative result is that only 23% of farms said that lack of benefit at the moment from digital agriculture solution is not the reason why they would not use the technology, because they're aware of that the benefits will come, but that they don't need to come immediately. So for them, only 1/5 of them said that lack of benefit is the barrier. So for 80% of them, that's not the barrier to start using the technology. The next important thing is, okay, if you're using the technology, how willing are you to share the data, and what are the barriers for you to share the data with others who could access the data, who could see your data if you're a farmer. And again, we have very indicative situation of trust levels. So the biggest barriers for farmers sharing their data is their fear of additional regulation. If the systems are being brought by governments, so farms are very careful that their data sharing will bring more regulation, and they're very careful of that. And privacy concerns altogether, that if it's being brought by a private company from the value chain, what is the motivation, which is very indicative that all the companies that are bringing digital agri technology to growers need to be very transparent in their communication, how the data will be used, what is the motivation behind that, and why the company is actually bringing the technology to farms altogether, so that privacy concerns are mitigated. And there are a lot of good examples of such communication. And again, we see that the third barrier basically is lack of training, lack of understanding, of why how data will be used altogether. So it correlates to privacy concerns and fear of regulation. So this means that really training, communication, understanding needs to be done in a major way. If we take a look at other barriers that are here, the majority of them is actually because of some of fear, or basically, again, we can correlate every single one of those to first three: lack of training, lack of understanding, so they feel other pains, or privacy concerns as well. When they were asked, okay, but what are your incentives? Why you would use farm management systems, digital agriculture solutions altogether? Majority of answers they provided were actually correlated with direct financial incentive. So the majority of them, of course, said that they want to use the technology to make their operations more profitable, which is the core essence. But when they were offered with other possible incentives, if insurance company is bringing them technology, and if they get some kind of crop insurance benefits or payment reductions, so how willing they would be to use the technology. The same comes from direct payment by private company, or lower rate from financial institution. And we can see that the percentages are very high altogether. So majority of farms are very, very incentivized to share the data if they have direct financial benefit. So when thinking about creating the entire program of digital agriculture and bringing it to growers, financial incentive must be included in some kind of way to increase the adoption and to increase willingness of sharing the data. The next question that was again asked, and this was aimed on farms that are using a farm management software to understand what are the key elements within farm management software they use actually where they were actually also increasing the data collection, where they find the value. And understanding yield rates by field was the highest, completely to understand their productivity. Then the next one was nutrient management, because they find a lot of cost savings if they manage nutrients smarter, if they apply precision agriculture practices altogether. And then it comes again to results from soil testing, because it directly correlates to nutrition management, weather precipitation data, where they can plan their practices better, to then financial, marketing, sales information, pest, and irrigation. And we can see that on majority on them, it was about productivity or input usage primarily. So understanding how good they are, where they perform well, and understanding where they can save costs on inputs, because those are direct to benefits for their profitability. So this question was is the current status of farm management and digitalization status in US. So the market that is set as a benchmark for everybody else, and we can see that 38% of farms are using farm management software. 32% are using spreadsheet or some kind of Word or other digital format, but not application. And 28% of them are still using pen and paper, basically to keep records of their farm. So often we are asked about, but what is the status in Central Eastern Europe, in Western Europe? And what we see based on our research is that penetration is usually between 15 to 20% of professional farms that use farm management software altogether. In enterprise farms, it is around 100%. So all the big farms are using the system, but in professional mid-sized segment, the results are between 15 and 20% altogether in Central Eastern Europe. So it's not on the US level, but it's not that far behind as well. The key point is that majority of farms are using some kind of digital tools, but in terms of structured digital tools, 38%. So the market is still not mature. The market is still in development, and all the other questions and what we will see further on contribute in barriers, understanding barriers for adoption, understanding incentives for adoption. The key benefits that farmers feel. So this was asked to farmers that are using the farm management software. So how beneficial was use of farm management software to them? And we can see altogether that 96% of farm experience cost reduction, yield increase, and profit improvements. So if we dive deeper, so the highest is increasing yield. So very beneficial that farm management software contributed in a very beneficial way for increasing yield, stated 49% of farms, and 49% said that it was somewhat beneficial altogether. Only 2% said it was not beneficial to yield increase. So first of all, starting to track the data in a structured way help farms to increase their productivity. And altogether, if we take a look, 97% of them increased the profit as well, out of the yield increase as well. And 97% of them reduced farm operations costs. So from banking perspective, if we try to imagine what is our ideal customer, who do we want to finance, and who do we want to work with altogether? So we can see that farms that are using farm management software are in a structured way, are definitely farms that are taking care of their business, that are reducing their operations costs, that are increasing their profitability, and correlating use of farm management software altogether with farmer behavior is very, very significant. The next question was that was asked. Okay, but do you feel that you have enough support from if you have any question about digital agriculture technology application you use, how do you know anybody who can help you, who can support you? And 52% of them said that yes, they know the expert who they can call and ask for help. But 48%, which is nearly half of them, said that they don't know who to contact. And this very much correlates to the lack of training, lack of understanding, and shows how well-structured customer success support. So not only bringing digital agriculture tools to farms and leaving them to be on their own there, but really supporting them with customer success, with adoption, with creative habits, understanding how to use technology. That's a very critical success factor. When farms were asked, okay, would you start to use or increase your usage of farm management technologies if it was brought to you at no charge? 79% of them said very likely, and 21% of them said not likely. So which means that farmers are really feeling, and this again correlates to the number one factor that was shown as barrier, where cost is number one factor. So if somebody subsidized that or provided technology to farms for free, basically in exchange of data, of course, in a transparent way, farmers would be very likely to use the technology. But let's not forget the barrier number two is lack of understanding, lack of training. So if it was brought to farmers for free, and if it was brought to farmers as well with good customer success approach, then this is actually the winning scenario of how to provide a good digital agriculture project to farms. This question was something that was very interesting to analyze. And so who do farmers trust the most with their data security? And they were offered with three options. So first option was federal, state, county legal government offices, so governmental administrational stakeholders. And only 42% of them agree that they trust the government to store their data, and 58% of them disagree. And this correlates very much with the barrier to use, what was said, the fear of additional regulation. So if farmers feel that they will be regulated more, that it will be used anyhow against them, they don't have the trust levels. When they were asked about private companies, 27% of them agreed that they trust private companies if they bring them for free. 73% of them said that they disagree, which is again very indicative. Okay, if I'm a farm, I would like somebody to bring me a solution for free, because I feel that cost is a barrier for me. I would like to get training as well, paired with subsidizing the technology, getting the training. But again, still the trust level, why somebody would do that for them, is very low. So the communication part, again, about all the digital agriculture projects that are being brought to farms is extremely important to really understand how to get trust level of farms, how to support them in the best possible manner. And 71% of them feel that those ones who have access to their financial data, who know how much cash they have on a bank account, actually are the most trusted ones. And here, financial institutions are play a very important role and can utilize this position in very significant way to support growers with adoption of digital agriculture technologies. And if we just go back a few slides where we said that those farms who were using farm management software are the most profitable ones, we can try to find currently projects where banks are bringing technology to growers to help them grow, to help them grow their profitability, to be able to start new investment processes in farming and to be able to finance those investment processes in farming. So altogether, we are starting to shape possible projects and possible motivations why somebody would do that. So if we are speaking about banks, three key incentives banks usually see when we discuss with them digital agriculture projects are, on one side, knowing their customer better, and this often applies to not just understanding the financial information that is currently available to banks about their clients, but also getting customer behavior analytics, like what are the assets farms owned, what is the climate risks on field, and what is the productivity of farm compared to other farms there, and to utilize that data to understand the customers better, to understand possible new clients as well, where they would like to place loans, to understand credit risk scoring better, and in the end, to reduce the risk of new financing. So to be sure that if financing is applied, that it is really applied to the best possible customers they want to finance. The second topic is, okay, we have existing customers, and we would like to be a partner to those farms. We would like to help them grow their business, grow their profitability, because if they grow, we will grow as a bank because we will be their trusted partner. And if we support them in their growth, we will make sure that we are establishing a long-term partnership with farms. So this is the motivation where banks are trying to educate farms, improve their profitability, enable them to expand, create grounds for new financing, and again to reduce loan return risks for all those loans that are currently placed to farms that. They're sure that those farms are profitable enough and productive enough to return those loans. And the third motivation is, of course, grow the revenue stream with new customers to make their offering more attractive, to position as innovative bank, to correlate with innovative brands, so their brand as somebody who is bringing and offering innovative solution to growers, and doing the value-added marketing to farms, and in the end to grow their customer base and increase revenue. So these are the three key motivations that we see when speaking with banks. Often the question is, okay, but currently the agriculture technology market is quite young, and there are a lot of small companies that cannot meet all the compliance criteria that are set by banks, and banks being very regulated often fear that whether they can ensure security levels needed to really bring technology to farms. And we as a company, Agrivi as a company, we ensure that we are certified with all the ISO security standards, quality management standards. We have high cybersecurity insurances and other security insurance policies to be fully compliant to all the bank standards and other corporates that usually have very strict standards. And we partner with Microsoft. The entire infrastructure is hosted on Microsoft Azure, which holds the highest security, data security and cloud security standards on the market. The next important topic when considered about bringing technology to farms is always localization. So there are a lot of technologies globally available, but trying to bring technology that is not localized for the local market with language, with currencies and units, with already pre-populated databases of commercial products like fertilizers and crop protection products, so that farmers just select, okay, I'm spraying with this product, and that they get the value out of that, and local pest alerts, it will not work because majority of farms do not speak foreign languages. Majority of farms are not advanced technology users, and they will not create the entire databases in behind and register all the nutrients and active substances in products. So this needs to be already in products as product readiness for farms. And the last question that is often asked by other business banks and other customers we have is, okay, we are bringing, we want to bring technology to farms, we want to help them, and we want to ensure that we really increase our customer behavior analytics, our understanding of our customer, knowing them better. Can we get the data out of the system to our CRM, to other applications, to credit risk scoring system? The answer is yes. So we provide as a company complete open API for integration with all other systems. So I hope that I managed to provide you currently with insight of farmer challenges they face when they're considering applying digital agriculture technologies, what they fear of, what are their motivations, and how you could structure your projects. And I would be happy to answer currently your questions.
Yes, thank you, Matija. Very interesting results of the research. So there's actually several good news for the banks. The first one is that the farmers are ready to give their data to the banks, and for the for some incentive, I mean some money benefits, meaning either better price, for example, or some profit results, meaning that actually banks can use it even in the financing of their sector, because, for example, when they have data on the customer, they can proceed with the credit scoring, making decisions faster, and also as they know the customers better in that way, so the risk of the customer is lower, so they can offer a lower price. So this is really interesting usage and interesting results that really customers are ready to give the data. This is really a good result, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would like to encourage our attendees here to ask your questions here in the chat, and actually I would would like to ask the question regarding the barriers that you showed during the research, and the first one was the costs. And this is actually true for, I would like to comment here, this is actually true for the whole small business customer sector, because for all small companies and small farmers here, the digitalization is really costly, which is why we are discussing this beyond banking services for the banks, and actually how banks can help small business customers to digitalize their business, including agricultural customers. So yes, providing this, so bank has the possibility and has the advantages actually to provide such solutions for the customers, helping them to digitalize as well. And here is my question, because we talked last year also about the digitalization of agricultural finance. And my question here, have you noticed some changes during the last year in the level of the digitalization of agricultural sector? And you showed that now it is 38%, so the ones that use real applications, meaning not the Excel. And for me also, this is a question connected with the age distribution in the sector. Last year you mentioned that on average, like 50% or even more than 50% farms are managed or by the people with the age of 65 plus years. So now you showed in your sample of the customers in research, it was 40%, but still a big part. And for me, this is a very, I mean, strictly correlated with the ability to adapt new technologies, to be agile, to change fast, itself. So have you seen some really changes for the last year, or maybe from the start of the lockdown? And what about the distribution? Yeah.
What we see is that is important when we speak about professional grower segment. So really professional farms. No matter of the age of the owner and farm manager, they currently have also agronomists involved, or a young generation is involved in farm. So they definitely have more capability of adopting new technologies. And we see actually that the older generation is motivating younger generation to adopt, because they understand how tough situation on the market is becoming altogether, and that without the use of digital technologies, they will not be able to actually be viable. So what happened, especially during the last year, farms understood that unfortunately COVID brought many different challenges to product distribution, to getting the inputs, all the things, and that in the end, productivity became a topic that was cost efficiency, how much we produce. That became a topic. That became important topic. The other important topic that what we all saw was local sustainability and self-sufficiency of countries, where all the stakeholders from agribusiness banks, food companies, governments started to work more and more with farms, and the ability of farms to adopt technologies immediately increased because of the trust level, because of the support level. What we could see from research, that when farms, that lack of training, lack of understanding was quite significant barrier. So as soon as the ecosystem started to engage around the farms, they became more willing to use technology.
Yeah, and actually, yes, I would like also to ask you about the education. Also, very interesting result. What do you think? What is your opinion? Who actually should be involved in educating farmers? Should be there some government or some agricultural associations, some international funds, banks, and how do you, as a company, educate your customers?
Well, I believe in the ecosystem approach. I don't believe that this is the role for just one stakeholder. It's not only on farms, it's not only on government. Government should provide one part of that. It's about the entire ecosystem, because about food companies, about banks to support farmers really in understanding the farm business, farm economics better, food companies in supporting farms to produce with best practices to produce exact quality levels for some crops, what they need. So everybody has their stake inside. And we see willingness from all the stakeholders in the value chain. So if you're speaking about plant-based diet, companies that focus currently on those, they're pushing a lot of best practices and technologies to growers to support them to produce exact crops with exact nutrients they need, because otherwise they will not get that. What we do as a company is we really try to provide that base, digital base, to all stakeholders, and to be there for all stakeholders about how to actually use the technology and make it a habit. Because if you speak about, for example, banks, so they don't have agronomists inside and resources that would work with farms. So this is our job. We take that job and we support them actually in those projects.
I also wanted to ask, are your solutions so for which farmers, for which type of farmers your solution suits the most? Like this crop growing mainly, or stock breeding as well? What are the types? Maybe this new vertical farming as well can be covered.
We focus on crop growers. So this is our focus. It's very broad, so altogether, and primarily. So as a company, as a Gryniuk, crop growers, but all crops. So no matter whether farms are grow fruit, vegetable, grains, or some other types of crops, we support them all. And yeah, so.
Do you plan to enter other markets or regions, let's say, because, for example, I mentioned also Africa as a region very crucial for the food security, I mean, globally. So you are now like operating mainly in Europe and US, yes, you mentioned. So like, because we have participants from different regions now, from MENA as well.
We have customer base in 100 plus countries. So we have customer base as well in Africa, in different Asian countries as well. Mostly in those markets we work with again professional farms. Those markets experience a lot of smallholder farming. And those smallholders are not at the level where they could use any complex technology. So they're on the base technology, but the projects we usually do, if it is about the smallholders, is with food companies or cooperatives, producer organizations that have their own agronomists that work with those smallholder farmers on a daily basis. So those agronomists are using our technology to manage the entire operations of smallholder farms, not smallholder farms directly.
Okay, so I will ask, when I see we do not have questions from the attendees, so I will ask my last question to close the webinar. So how banks can cooperate with you? And I would like to divide here like in two parts, this topic in two parts. The first is the resource-wise. I mean, which resources from the banks are needed, like team, also time-wise, how does it look like? But also product-wise, meaning how exactly this cooperation can look for banks' customers. Because you mentioned, yes, that you cooperate with BNP Paribas, yes, and here in Poland, they implemented it as a separate, they implemented a separate portal called Agronomist, where they really publish different industrial, agricultural news and educate their customers. Also, yes, cooperate with you with the solution. So how also product-wise this can be integrated with the bank's products, platforms? How can it look like?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you for that. Different banks have different ideas about digital agriculture projects. So our platform is really very wide, very broad, and we can configure it to support farms in different manners. If you're speaking about the standard platform that we deliver, it is the go-to market in terms of time is really fast. If you're speaking about some specific project where banks would like to create something specific, very correlated, very integrated with their own systems, then it's a longer project. And we are open for both as a company. So whether we are bringing something that is standard or something that is tailor-made and adjusted for banks. So there is opportunity to work on both. The timing is different. What is very important when we are bringing technology to growers is understanding the season. So if we want to support farms in this year, we are late because they're in the middle of the season, so they will not start using the technology currently. But if we would like to support them in the next season, this means that we need to start to educate them during the winter when they have time. When we are working with them, that's the ideal period to introduce the technology and to really capitalize that in the next season. So the best time to talk actually about these kind of projects is for the next year is now, to start talking about that and to start delivering the technology to farms in autumn, winter.
Okay, thank you, Matija, very much for your contribution. I think that our participants, it was very useful for them, and they can, implement it or take also into account when making decision for in terms of products and services for their agricultural customers. So thank you very much. Thank you, our attendees, for being with us and staying to the very end. So thank you very much, and see you next time online.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Olena, for inviting me, and thank you everybody for participating. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Goodbye.